Good morning, boys and girls. I'm Miss Castillo, the Assistant Principal for Curriculum Development and Academic Affairs. In the following 15 minutes or so, I will walk you through the basics of online learning arrangements for the new academic year, which officially starts today. So you may ask, why do I have to listen to you? What does this have to do with me? Well, you'll need to know the fundamentals of our school's new online learning arrangements to survive through the first few weeks of school. Yep, you heard me loud and clear. The following information is going to help you familiarize with the new arrangements in the first few weeks so that you can quickly adapt to them. Alright, let's get started. First off, it's important to explain some terms so that we are on the same page. When I say live lessons, I'm referring to real-time, interactive lessons such as Zoom or Google Meets. When I say real-time lessons, these can be live lessons or those requiring work to be done or classwork submitted within the lesson time. By scheduled lessons, what I mean are lessons involving work or submission of homework outside lesson time. Now we can move on to talk about the first important information today, online learning timetables. And you heard me right, it's a plural timetables. From the 3rd to the 11th of September, you will follow a special timetable which consists of 8 lessons, and each lasting 30 minutes. Your day will start at 8:15 and end at 12:45. To allow you some time for stretching, a 10-minute break will be given after every double lesson. During these 2 weeks, you are advised to use your afternoon time wisely. For example, by doing revision. From the 14th of September onwards, there are 2 possible scenarios that you may encounter. The first one is the online learning scenario, and the other is the half-day face-to-face learning in the campus scenario. No worries, let's take one thing at a time. Suppose all classes in all levels are conducted online from the 14th of September. You will follow this online learning timetable that you see on the screen. Each lesson will last for a little bit longer than the ones in the special timetable, and that is 35 minutes. The start time is the same, 8:15 in the morning. Since your lesson duration is longer, your breaks will also be longer. After each double period, you will get a 15-minute break to look away from the computer and relax your eyes a bit. For most of you, the day will end at 3:40 p.m. And as this is a full day schedule, you will be given a lunch break for 1 hour and 15 minutes. After that, those who will receive additional learning support to be arranged by your subject teachers will attend a 1-hour tutorial. The tutorials are only held on Tuesdays to Fridays in order to allow time for a class teacher period. As you can see, you do not have a class teacher period every morning as you did in the past. So to allow you opportunities to interact with your classmates and teachers, the CTP has been arranged after lunch on every Monday. The end of the 8th period marks the end of the day for most of you, except for those who will need to attend a consolidation or a supplementary lesson. Do not worry about these terms. I will explain them as we go on. One thing to note about this learning schedule is that after school, between 4 to 5 p.m., a CCA activity may be arranged, and you will be informed of the time in due course. As a general rule, there will be 2 times of CCA activities in Term 1, and it will start in October. Now, let's move on to the half-day in-campus timetable. In case face-to-face lessons resume later on for some forms or even for all, you will follow a similar schedule with a few adjustments made. As you can see, the day still starts at 8:15 a.m., but this time you will have the class teacher period to begin your school day with. Every day. The lesson and break durations remain unchanged. A difference is that you will be leaving school premises and going back home for lunch at 12:15 p.m. after your 6th period. Since the CTP has been moved to the morning, you will not get it again at lunch. If you need to travel home for lunch, I'm sorry to disappoint you, as your tutorials may be cancelled or rescheduled by your subject teachers. At 2:30 p.m. sharp, you should be ready for your afternoon lessons, online. The 7th and 8th periods will be conducted online, and attendance is mandatory. Talking about attendance, I'm sure you'd like to be informed of the following important notes. First, attendance in live lessons, such as Zoom or Google Meets and the like, is necessary. It's mandatory. Attendance will be taken every lesson, and absence will go to the school records. If you are ill or for some reasons unable to attend a lesson, you must follow the school's application procedures for leave of absence, the details of which I will not repeat here. You can refer to the e-notice issued on the 28th of August. One thing you need to note is that unjustified lateness, whether you are a bit late or you are extremely late, both will be regarded as absence. Now that I've talked about attendance in lessons, you may be asking about classwork and homework. You are required to hand in classwork within lesson time and homework by 8:15 a.m. on the next day. For both, failure to do so will lead to a missing homework record. I'll leave the details to our discipline head, Ms. Cam, to explain to you in her video. You can also ask your class teachers if you have any questions. With educational technologies becoming so advanced these days, you do not need to worry about forgetting to attend a lesson or submit an assignment, because you will be reminded. As 3 to S6 students, you can simply go to the Google Calendar, and you will find your live and real-time lessons marked on the calendar 2 days prior to the lessons. You will also be pleased to find quizzes and assignments marked on it. As for S1 and S2 students, do not worry. You will receive a real-time lesson timetable tailored for you through e-notice once per cycle. For details of specific coursework and quizzes, simply follow the instructions from your subject teachers. In case you are working on a longer-term study plan, rest assured that the details of the UTs and exams will be announced officially in mid-September. Wow, that's a lot of information, isn't it? Just hang on in there for a few more minutes. The last part of this video will give you key information about the additional learning support that you'll receive from the school. So here it goes. We're going to start off with S1 to S6 tutorials, as they concern all. And then we're going to move on to talk about S1 to S4 consolidation lessons. And finally, we'll move on to S5 and S6 supplementary lessons. Let's start with the tutorials as it involves students in all levels. S1 to S6 tutorials will be arranged by individual class teachers to a targeted group of students after lunch, which starts at 1:30 p.m. from Tuesdays to Fridays. The tutorial will commence when a full-day online learning schedule is adopted on the 14th of September. For all levels but S3, participants will benefit from the tutorial, which is conducted twice a month. All tested subjects are welcome to arrange small group tutorials with you. This said, tutorials are based on your learning progress and needs and are optional in nature. If you have been listening carefully to what I said, you will notice that I said all levels but S3 earlier. Owing to the numerous subjects S3 students take in this year of exploration, each subject will only be able to conduct a tutorial once a month, based on the following timetable. To put it simply, it works on an odd and even cycle. On the 14th of September, when the tutorials start, subjects allocated the even number cycle will be able to conduct tutorials. And that means in the next cycle, the subjects assigned an odd number cycle will be able to start their tutorials. Don't worry if you cannot work out this timetable at the moment, as your subject teachers, who are already very familiar with it, will be able to explain to you later on. Now that brings us to the consolidation lessons. These are after-school lessons targeted at S1 to S4 core subjects. If you are S2 or above, you should be familiar with the strengthening classes we had for English, Chinese, and Math in the past. And this is what consolidation lessons exactly are. For all subjects but liberal studies, the consolidation lessons will start on the 28th of September, when some of you start feeling that you may need a bit of support in following your learning schedule or progress. Each consolidation lesson lasts for about an hour and is conducted weekly. It is targeted at core subjects, as I mentioned earlier. Participation in the consolidation lessons is by invitation, and the details will be given to you by your subject teachers in due course. Finally, we have reached the last bit of this video explaining the supplementary lessons. This learning support takes place after school from 4 to 5 p.m. and is aimed at equipping those of you who are S5 and S6 for the DSE examinations. For those of you who are S5, you may wish to know that the S5 subjects and the supplementary lessons will take place in the latter half of each month, so as to allow you to take part in co-curricular activities or CCA. This means that on average, each S5 student will get one session per month. For S6 students, as the 2021 DSE examinations are just around the corner, each subject will get 2 sessions per month. The supplementary lessons are scheduled to start on the 14th of September, the first day of full-day learning timetable. To allow subjects and students more opportunities to prepare for the public examinations, Saturday time slots will be allocated upon request. I'm sure your subject teachers will make arrangements with you shortly. Well, at last, that brings us to the end of this very informative video on the school's new online learning arrangements. I strongly encourage you to make good use of the remaining time to ask your class teachers questions that you may have. They say, well begun is half done. I wish you a wonderful first day of school and a successful year ahead. Thank you.